Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a fire station is stepping down after officials say there is a dispute over funding. Plus, one new Senate bill would help register ATVs and other vehicles like side-by-sides to be street legal in a limited capacity.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. My name is Amelia Liu here with you, WYMT, on this Friday, January 31st, and we are at 6:27, just 3 minutes away from 6:30 this morning. And it's time to check on in with meteorologist Eric Dean for a look at the forecast this morning. And Eric, I know we have been talking about this rain that we are experiencing right now. I could hear it even coming down here in the studio, as well as at home last night. So what can folks expect as they get ready to head out the door and head on to work today?
Right, as you head out the door, make sure you have the rain gear handy, the umbrella, the raincoats, what have you, because rain is falling across all of eastern Kentucky at this hour. Here's a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar right now, and you can see some rain over towards, well, everybody in the WYMT viewing area, but we'll go ahead and pinpoint some locations that's seeing some heavy rain over towards the West Liberty area, the Paintsville area, Prestonsburg seeing some heavy rain at this hour, and then you go towards the Weeks-Berry area, seeing some heavy rain. Then you go across the western part of the viewing area towards the North Corbin, Williamsburg area, seeing some heavy rain at this time. We are seeing a little bit of lightning being picked up as well. So here's your setup. We have that warm front pushing through. There's all the moisture that's going to push through as we go into the next several hours. And with that, a flood watch has been issued for the counties shaded in green, our West Virginia counties, as well as Buchanan County in Virginia. So make sure as you travel this morning, take it slow, allow yourself extra time to get to your morning destination. I'll have your complete first alert forecast coming up in a few minutes. Amelia.
All right, Eric, thank you. One Floyd County Fire Department is standing down, and as part of a news conference, nearly all of its members resigned. WYMT's Buddy Forbes spoke to the former assistant chief about the decision and how it will impact the area.
The City of Martin's volunteer fire department is no longer responding to calls, and 17 of its 18 members resigned Thursday.
We all love this community. We love this department, and we don't want to leave. But it's in the best interest of our community members that this department close. And it's all on the financial situations that come from Mayor Howell.
Former Assistant Chief Brandon Salisbury says the department has had years of issues getting money to pay for the things it needs.
We've had to change our response to fires and emergencies due to having no fuel.
Salisbury said the department contacted Mayor Sam Howell on December 13th, asking for the city to give them the money to fuel up the department's trucks, but did not hear back until early this month, when he told them it would be February 10th before the funding would be available. But when the fire department received a check for $10,000 from the Floyd County Fiscal Court, they placed that money in their business account, which is not connected to the city. So they used a portion of that to fuel up the trucks and buy some needed items.
The money was never missing. It was received, and I'm pictured receiving it in an article that was released about it. The check was deposited into a Martin Fire Department business account.
Salisbury says when he told the mayor they no longer needed the city's assistance buying the fuel and informed him of the grant received by the county, the department began receiving demands to place the money in the city authorized account. Martin City Attorney Jimmy Webb released a statement Thursday saying the department did not follow proper procedure and the mayor has requested the money to be placed in the city's account for the fire department, saying, quote, "It is hoped that the actions by the fire department chief were inadvertently done, and he was not aware of the proper procedure, either accepting funding or depositing it in an authorized account." Salisbury said the reaction from the mayor and the fear that the money would not be used as intended was the final straw.
We've put our own money and blood into this department. There's so many items in there that I can say I spent hours and hours to get. And it's hard for us to do this, but it's the right thing to do.
So the firefighters coordinated a stand down and requested mutual aid to make sure the community would still be taken care of. Prestonsburg Floyd County 911 Administrator Ross Shurtleff says the area fire departments met up and worked out a map to cover for the department in the interim.
There's an emergency then that requires the fire department, then there's going to be first responders respond to that area. Those directives were put out to the 911 center yesterday morning.
Salisbury says the community and the firefighters deserve better.
Finally got to the boiling point after years of failure to actually meet the needs of this department, that it's came to this.
In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Salisbury says the department is returning the more than $9,200 remaining in the business account to the county, not the city, and presenting them with the receipts to show how it was used. Water woes continue in parts of Perry County. Earlier today, hazard officials say they were still trying to maintain water levels in all tanks. There are still problem areas, including Buckhorn. There will be no school again today, and they have not had in-person classes since before Christmas break. First due to weather, now due to no water. Kentucky State Police are investigating a deadly house fire in Pike County. On Wednesday night, investigators were called to Caney Drive in Pikeville. One person was found dead inside the home. The body was sent to Frankfort for an autopsy. The cause of both the fire and death are being investigated. Troopers say foul play is not suspected. The name of the person who died has not yet been released. A Pike County woman is behind bars after reports say a child in her care showed signs of torture. In a complaint warrant, it says KSP was informed about a child who had bruises on his chin. When the child returned to school following Christmas break, he had chipped front teeth and a busted nose. Troopers searched the home where the child was staying. Mary Hall was later charged with child abuse, kidnapping, and assault. Yesterday, Kentucky State Troopers with KSP Post 9 located a wanted man. If you look at your screen, you can see 43-year-old Jerome Norman. There was an active arrest warrant for kidnapping, criminal abuse, assault, and fleeing and evading police. Police say he was located and taken into custody. Senate Bill 63 was introduced in the General Assembly earlier this month. If approved, the bill will allow some special purpose vehicles to be street legal in Kentucky under certain circumstances. I was able to meet with folks instrumental in Senate Bill 63. Eric Hubbard with Backroads of Appalachia worked with legislators on Senate Bill 63 for more than 1.5 years after gaining inspiration from West Virginia mixed with his love for motorsports.
This is a way for us to expand the trail systems, expand the opportunities to bring more people to Eastern Kentucky and turn it into revenue for our local communities.
If approved, the bill will give you the option to register your street legal special purpose vehicle, like ATVs, giving them clearance to operate on a highway with limited use. Hubbard says it's a bill that ensures safety and gives rights with limitations.
This bill states that you can only drive 20 miles on a state highway. We're not asking you to tag it and you're going to be able to go to Lexington and back, but it gives you the right to go off a trail to a community, then back to a trail and do it legally.
Senator Scott Maiden says he thinks this bill would help bring adventure tourism to Eastern Kentucky.
I don't want to just continue to be a weekend destination. I'd like to see people to show up here for a week, bring their motorhomes or stay in our hotels.
For people unsure about Senate Bill 63, Maiden says he understands, at one point being on that side of the aisle and now sponsoring the bill.
We're not just cutting four-wheelers loose to ride up and down people's yards and roads. There will be laws and restrictions on them. And
Hubbard says what is in the bill is not unheard of in other parts of the country.
We're not breaking the mode and creating something new. We're implementing what other states has, but making it with a twist that benefits the state of Kentucky, that protects their citizens is the whole purpose of this bill.
If the bill is approved, it would go into effect later this year. Both Maiden and Hubbard say they have seen and heard many positive responses in regards to Senate Bill 63. They say they hope the bill passes with ease. Nonprofit groups throughout Kentucky are worried that their funding is going to end. That's despite a federal pause put on grants and loans being rescinded. Many nonprofit groups are part of the Kentucky Nonprofit Network, and this week some expressed concerns. One attorney says his organization helps the most marginalized in society, but actions coming from Washington placed all of that on pause effective Friday.
We represent the people that can't afford a lawyer, that there's no other legal services available to help them.
Simpson says the Kentucky Equal Justice Center's temporary pause on operations will give them time to raise money to restart their operation, which opened in 1976. A soccer club is breaking down social and economic barriers for kids in their community. Destiny Quinn shares how the vision of one man made it all happen.
Luca Leonardi started the Nido Soccer Club 2 years ago. The club now has 22 teams and almost 300 players.
We're trying to do things a little bit different. We've disrupted the local soccer scene a little bit.
If you go watch a soccer tournament in Lexington, you might hear a lot of different accents.
Listen about 11 different languages spoken on the field. Our kids are coming from all the 6 continents, from North America, South America, Asia, Europe, Africa, and Australia.
Thanks to the initiative of one man, a melting pot of culture has become a success on the field.
I'm Italian, so we have soccer in our vein, and especially in Italy.
Luca Leonardi moved to Lexington 12 years ago. When his son started playing soccer, he noticed a need.
For the level of coaching that he was receiving and the amount of money we're paying, it was not the standard.
I might had to pay out of pocket sometime for them just to play because they told me they're playing but their parents cannot afford. So sometimes I'd pay out of pocket.
Victor Abonio had been coaching kids at the YMCA for 5 years when he met Luca.
Luca said, bring over the team. We will take care of it. I said, but some of them are not going to be able to afford it. But Luca said, hey, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it.
Out of the 300 players, about 50% of them, they are playing through scholarships.
In the rest of the world, this is what they do. It's not the families funding the teams. It's not if you have the means, you can play. Everybody can play. The communities support the teams.
With over 60 volunteers, they make sure every kick of the ball is a step towards greatness.
We've had opportunity to play great teams out there, and that's kind of has built us a lot. So the kids are forever very grateful for that opportunity.
The Nido Soccer Club has become a home.
The translation in multiple languages, including Luca's native Italian, is nest. So it's a nest. It's a place where you can come and you feel like you're part of a family, you're part of an organization, and that's what we try to give to our families and our kids. It's a really positive experience.
The Housing Development Alliance continues to build homes for folks in need through a program called Hope Builders. The organization is partnering with county drug courts and recovery providers. HDA Executive Director Scott McReynolds says Hope Builders will expand its program starting in mid-February, creating 2 groups to complete even more homes. Hope Builders works to bring paid on-the-job training to folks in recovery.
Part of the recovery process is that giving back. And the work ethic of the trainees is just great, and to see the pride they take in the work, it's really exciting.
Officials say Hope Builders have completed 22 homes with 3 more in progress right now. They say there is a 75% success rate of folks finding work after leaving the program.
All right, current time is now 6:40. Here's the latest with live pinpoint Doppler radar. Everybody in the WYMT viewing area is seeing rain at this hour, and there's a lot more with this. You can see that moisture across portions of Mississippi, portions of Alabama, even Tennessee. That's going to push its way up and over as we go into the next several hours. Flood watch continues until 8 o'clock tonight for Lawrence County, Wayne County, West Virginia, Mingo, Logan County, as well as Buchanan County. Temperatures right now in the 40s and 50s. We're at 52 in Hazard, 50 in Harlan, 45 Jonesville, 45 in Wise. Your day planner for today plays like this. We'll get a 51 by the 7 o'clock hour, upper 50s by 1 p.m., mid 50s as we go into the 7 o'clock time frame and to start your weekend. I have your complete first alert forecast coming up in a few minutes.